All right, we're back. Finally. I don't know. We're probably going to run the show a little bit short now. To conclude what I've been talking about on the previous two shows before the server went out. Everything in the Middle East that's going on right now, in either a direct or indirect way, is our fault. If you go back and look at your history, you will find that, yeah, a lot of it was our fault. Does that mean that, oh my God, John, we should be very ashamed? Look, we had the best of intentions back then. We wanted to keep the world free of from communists. That was obvious. Anybody that knows your Cold War history knows that the reason we went to Korea, to Vietnam, and to a lot of other places was to keep our dominance and to keep the Soviets in check. It was all a chess game. That's why we were all in the Middle East, because we wanted to avoid the Soviets getting their hands on Iranian oil, and we wanted to make sure they didn't get inroads into areas like Syria, which they did to a certain degree, but they never fully, Turkey was a very big hot front in the Cold War. There's a lot of history. If you bother to read it, you'll understand that it's very complex. And Obama and whoever follows Obama and whoever follows that person, until the day that either unless there's a huge war that kills a bunch of people there, or the world ends, it's going to be complex. It ain't simple, folks. From Algeria all the way to Pakistan and into Indonesia and whatnot, you're going to be dealing with a very complex situation when it comes to Arab and Islamic politics. Okay? There's not one group. They're not one group. They're different countries. They're different. They see Islam in different ways. You've got Sunni and Shia, and those two groups, you've got different interpretations. And this is the problem the right wing has. They make things way too simple. They think everything is black and white, when in reality there's a hell of a lot of shades of gray involved. And we're not totally innocent, okay? We've had our fingers all over the Middle East since World War II. And the biggest mistake we made, and I'm all for recognizing Israel and keeping them as existing as a nation, but the problem was we did it the wrong way. Okay? We basically kicked out a bunch of Palestinians, threw them out essentially, or basically made them second-class citizens, and basically, even though that was not our original intent, but if you got a bunch of Zionists who go to Israel and you tell them, well, you can't really create a nation here, guess what they're going to do? They created a nation. They declared independence, and the very next day, Jordan and these other countries, these new-fangled Arab countries, attacked. And it's been a hotbed ever since. Have you ever read what the region was like before World War II? Jerusalem was peaceful. You didn't have all these conflicts. Okay? Were there problems? Of course. The British occupation of what was once the Ottoman Empire wasn't pretty. In 1920, there had problems in Baghdad, if I'm not mistaken, or was it Basra? I can't remember. But for centuries, under Ottoman rule, that area pretty much was peaceful. But in the past, when Christians and Muslims came together during the Crusades, yeah, a lot of stuff went down. We don't remember that history because when that was going down, there were a bunch of Native Americans here and not us, okay? The Islamic world remembers that. They are taught that in schools, okay? You probably don't even know about the Crusades. You probably forgot that. For those of you who took world history, you probably don't. Well, maybe you should, because if you remember the Crusades, you'll find out no, go this way. Thank you. I don't mean to be mean, but I'm trying to do something here. Okay, here we go again. I was talking to my friend here. We got a little cat in the apartment now, so shh, don't let anybody know that. All right. The fact is that if we don't understand the history of this region, if we have politicians who don't understand the history of the region, then how the hell are they going to be able to properly deal with it? Okay? It would be like me going to a hardware store, and I know next to nothing about tools. I know a hammer, I know nails, I know the bare basics. But I couldn't honestly tell you which drill was better than the other drill. Okay? It's me telling you how to build a house. It's me saying, hey, this is how you build a house. Why? Because I was elected, and this is how we're going to do it. I don't know how to construct a house. I have trouble trying to put together a damn bookcase. I'll be that honest with you. I'm not the most hands-on person. I'm great at stuff like this. I'm great at writing. I'm great at doing putting together computers and such, but when it comes to actually building furniture, not really. Okay, so it'd be me telling you how to build a house. Don't. Why? Because they get their information from people who are already biased. Let me put it to you this way, okay? If you look at It's not Barack Obama's fault that he's gotten confused with this guy. So, and the fact is, when are we going to realize that we can't solve the world's problems? When we want to have simplistic solutions that are provided to us by people who don't have the best of intentions. Okay? If you think for one instance that a lot of these conservative think tanks are actually doing what's right for all Americans, that's not the case. They want to shape policy for those who are paying to run these think tanks. And yes, the same thing's going on the liberal side. I'll be the first to admit that. Here's the thing. We have to start realizing that America has to look out for America first. Okay? We cannot keep this up about going into every little place. Did we preserve freedom by going to Iraq? No. If we had not gone there, they would not have attacked us. Saddam Hussein damn well knew what would have happened if he did attack us. We would have been on his ass in 24 hours, if that long. What did we do when Al-Qaeda attacked us? A little less than a month later, we were on their ass. We all remember, if you were around, you know what was going on. We went after them. We got in league with the group called the Northern Alliance. We kicked the Taliban's ass. We really wounded Al-Qaeda. We scattered them to four winds. But guess what happened? We didn't realize what kind of war we were fighting. This is the crux of my argument against going. We can't fight this with huge armies. We can't fight this with bombers. We can't fight this with fighter jets. We cannot fight this with traditional military tactics. Okay? How do you win this war? Intelligence. You win it through intelligence. You win it to find out where these people are going. You find out where they're getting their money from, where they're getting their support from, where they're getting who is helping these people. And then you find a way to cut that help off. Here's the thing. A lot of governments don't really want to help Al-Qaeda because they know what's coming. They know if we find out, we're going to go after them. So a lot of the help Al-Qaeda gets these days, and all these fringe groups that are associated with Al-Qaeda, and let me put it to you this way. Al-Qaeda is not one huge, gigantic, singular organization. It is a very loosely affiliated a bunch of groups that pretty much are on their own. A lot of them recognize the head of Al-Qaeda's authority. Some of them used to, like ISIS, and then they decided, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to do our own thing, and if you don't like it, screw you. And that's the danger. Here you have a group that even Al-Qaeda rejects as being way too violent, way too extreme. And they are starting to gain footholds in Syria and Iraq. Are they going to pose problems in the future? Probably. Are we going to have to deal with them? Probably. But we cannot deal with them directly, militarily, in a traditional fashion. Because if we do that, we're going to get bogged down, we're going to lose a hell of a lot of troops, and we're probably going to lose the war. because eventually the American people are going to get tired of it. They're going to start questioning, why are we over there? Why? Let me ask you this. With all of this, does it impact your life? For the vast majority of Americans, it does not. Unless you're Iraqi American or Syrian American and have family over there, then it probably impacts you. And I understand that. But we can't fight every single war. We've tried that. And there's still part of this country that wants to do it. On both sides of the political fence. Look what happened in Somalia. There are probably conservatives who would love to go over there. The only problem was, when Clinton was involved, then we had to get out because it was Clinton's fiasco, even though Bush was the one that started sending troops over there to begin with. And then handed it off saying, hey, Clinton, this is your mess now. The only way we're going to solve problems like Somalia, Syria, and Iraq is if we go there full force and basically conquer the place. And that damn. The Republicans don't realize what happens if we send our troops over there. It will end in the destruction of the world. And if there are people who are wanting to bring about the end days and supposedly bring Christ back, you're stupid. You're stupid. You're idiotic. Please, shoot yourself. You can go meet Christ right now. Right now. Kill yourself. Walk out in front of a bus. Go jump in a lake and you don't know how to swim. Go skydive without a parachute. You want to meet Christ that bad? Go do that. Don't drag the whole damn world down with you. Okay? I hate to say this, but I want to still live in this world. I want to have a peaceful world, okay? I don't ask for a lot, but I would at least like to live a few more years before I meet my Maker. And he probably don't want to meet me because he knows what's coming. He knows I'm going to have a lot. You got stuff on me, brother? I got stuff on you. You got some splaining to do, okay? You got some splaining to do. T came prepared, baby. T spent his last breaths getting ready for that meeting. Trust me. All right. There are people in the religious right who want to bring about the end days, and they're nuts to do it. That means invoking America to go and create a war called Armageddon. Now, I don't want to start Armageddon, all right? It may very well happen anyway over there, but Christ is going to come back when he damn well wants to. He ain't going to come when you want him to. He's going to come when he wants to, okay? So enough about this bringing about the end times and, okay? This is why you need sensible people, moderate, sensible people that know how to work to govern and lead the nation, that knows you got to do it through compromise. But do fundamentalists compromise? No. That's why you've got the Tea Party, and last weekend, or earlier this week, Eric Cantor, the majority leader of the House, got beat by some Tea Partier because Eric Cantor had the audacity to want to compromise on immigration. And it wasn't really that much of a compromise. But he dared to even think about compromising with the Obama administration. And since Obama's the Antichrist, how dare he work with the Antichrist? Do you know what's going to happen if you toss out sensible, conservative. Are we back on? Thank you. We're back on. All right. I really need to make this short. I need to fix my damn computer. But it's like this. It all boils down to this. You have people in this country that are so brainwashed that they think they're walking in the path of Christ, when in reality, it's probably walking in the path of the Antichrist. And Obama ain't the Antichrist, folks. It's the people that are leading you towards inevitable doom. And you don't even realize it because you're so blind with your hate for Obama. You're so blind for your hate for the Democratic Party. You're so blind to hate liberals or anybody that disagrees with you, because they may not like the fact that you may not like the fact they want to have reasonable gun control, or that maybe, just maybe, keeping abortion illegal actually might save babies' lives, that might very well have a reason for it, like rape, incest, molestation. But unfortunately, you have people who go, well, we can't compromise on anything because compromise is weakness. And we can't have that now, can we, children? I want to leave you right now with one last thought. And I want you to think about this long and hard. Our nation was founded by people who wanted to be free of a repressive regime. King George III and Parliament did not have representation from America. They didn't want representation. We were a colony to them. Let me ask you this. Can you go to the polls every November, every even year, and elect your state and federal officials? Yes. Can you elect your governor every few years? Yes. Can you elect your city council, your county commissioners? Yes. Can you talk to them, even though it may not do any good? You can petition for your redress of grievances. So far, unless you're in North Carolina, it seems like. For the most part, yes. So this idea that this is a second American Revolution is a bunch of crap. Okay? Obama's not a dictator. He's not trying to become the next socialist leader. If he's such a socialist, then why is Wall Street so damn strong right now? Okay? If he's such a great socialist, then why are corporate profits so damn high? So, I'm going to leave you with that. And I want you to think about that for one simple reason. Because if you don't think about that, you're going to be falling in the same trap that right-wing media wants you to fall into. Believe the constant attacks on Obama. Oh, Obama did this like Bergdahl. He's trying to get us out of Afghanistan, because if we keep getting bogged down there, more American lives are going to be lost, and there's no clear objective. Why are we even there anymore? Why? The Afghanis are going to have an election very soon. More than likely going to elect a leader that wants us to leave. So more than likely what's going to happen is we're going to have the exact same thing happen in Afghanistan that happened in Iraq, which is basically they said, thanks, now go. What do? Do we tell them no because we're America, we're going to stay here, we're going to make damn sure? No, we leave. They are a sovereign state, which is what these Tea Partiers keep saying. They're sovereign people. How dare Washington impose themselves upon us? Unless, of course, it imposes upon people you don't like. And that's the Tea Party. They don't mind big government getting involved in your sex life. They don't mind big government getting involved in how you handle a child, your pregnancy. They don't mind making sure that anybody who ain't a Christian is basically forced to listen to Christian prayer. Because if they're not forced to listen to Christian prayer, that's persecution of Christians. The right wing does not understand that their days are numbered. If you've looked at the data like I have, the young generation, minorities are growing every year. Texas is becoming bluer. North Carolina is becoming bluer. A lot of the South, which is right now supposedly very solidly red, is suddenly becoming bluer. That means if they lose Texas, New York and California and Texas pretty much goes a long way in electing a president. Why do you think this voter ID law is such, they're pushing it so hard? Because of the non-existent threat of voter fraud. Because of the fact that, statistically speaking, voter fraud has never once impacted a presidential election. Not once. Because you could say, well, Kennedy won because of the Chicago machine. You don't think there weren't machines in the South preventing or working for Nixon? You don't think there weren't machines working for Bush back in 2000? Which, of course, got him elected. But even then, let's face it. Until we have a completely impartial, nonpartisan, unbiased electoral commission running elections in this country, you're always going to have machines that in some places are Democratic, some places are Republican. It's those areas, but you at least have the opportunity, even in the reddest of states, even in the bluest of states, to vote your conscience. I can go and you may have to get an ID. You may have to fight to get allowed to vote. Yeah, you may have to stand in line for hours upon end, but it is worth it, people, because there are people who want to deny you the right to vote. And not only that, they want to discourage you from voting. They want to make it harder upon you because they know that the more people vote, the more it favors the Democrats. And they are scared of that. And they want to discourage potential Democratic voters. We have lived in this country for nearly 250 years, and this is the first time in our nation's history that all of a sudden you need an ID to vote. Oh, but it's simple. You need an ID for everything else. Well, why should... You didn't need it for voting for many years. Why now? Why in the most essential part of being an American, to be able to have the right to vote in your election? All you have to do is prove you live in a district. You don't need a state ID for that. You need an electric bill. Does your mail come to this certain place in this district? Yes. Well, you can vote then. But we got to have IDs for everything else. No, you don't. Not really. Besides, have you even bothered to look at what is behind all this? We should take a time to do a show on ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. folks, that's scary stuff if you ever look. Because they're basically, this is a closed-door group of people writing legislation, handing it to legislatures, and they're putting a stamp on it. And the legislation is not benefiting you, it's benefiting corporate America. Look it up. ALEC. ALEC. Look it up and you're going to find out that the Republican Party is not interested in you. They're interested in their corporate benefactors. They're interested in the Koch brothers. They're interested in the Walton family. They're interested in all these other big-time, huge benefactors that basically want this country to run for them, not for you, the average American, because you're a peasant to them. You're a serf. You're someone that works, and if they don't like you, they can can your ass like that. You don't even realize it. You just buy into the bull crap that Fox feeds you, that Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Mike, and all these other right-wingers feed you. And yeah, I know the left wing can be bad too, but they're not nearly as bad. Liberal bias? Look at the media these days. It's mostly conservative bias. But they don't want you to believe that. They want you to go, oh, the media, the CNNs of the world, they're all lefties. They're all communists. No, they're not. In a lot of cases, CNN's a lot more right-wing than they ever were back in the 90s. You know. But they don't want you to know that. They want you to fear the government, fear the media, fear the dirty liberal that actually gets stuff done for your benefit. You want to know why you have weekends? Thank a liberal. You want to know why you only work 40 hours a week and you can actually have time to spend with your family? Thank a liberal. You want to know why you have Social Security? Thank a liberal. You want to know why you can get unemployment benefits when you lose your job? Thank a liberal. Liberals have helped this country a hell of a lot more than conservatives. And guess what? For the longest time, I was afraid to basically say this. I'm a liberal, and I'm damn proud of it. And if you don't like that, kiss my freaking grits. That's it for now. Good night, good luck, and may the good news be yours. God bless America.